What is up, guys? King of Underworld back at you with part 2. Well, the second movie to What If Deku was Yuta Okkotsu. I'm sorry this came out a bit later than usual. Um, thought I had to do something, but turns out I didn't, so I wasted my time on it. And yeah, I was also had to redesign the thumbnail real quick. I hope you guys like it. But yeah. Before I get into this, I just want to say thank you for supporting this series, and I hope everybody enjoys the dark tale. Because I know it's quite sad for some people to listen to, but usually there's never sunshine and rainbows without a bit of dark clouds brewing. So, let's get into part 2, shall we? So, last part we started the story off with, well, a tragedy. Deku had gotten, fed up with Bakugo bullying him relentlessly, for no reason other than just being born quirkless. And then it happened. Just die, Bakugo! And as if his words were carrying magic within them, that wish came to life. He was crushed by a car, but that's not all what happened. Bakugo still lived, however, it was within Deku's mind. That dark figure grew in his head over the years, as he tried to be a normal person, tried to be, a hero trying to have dreams. However, they were all taken away out from under him by the voice that was looming inside of his head that kept growing stronger with every dark thought. Then it was time for him to try and accept reality, try and push forward, become a hero, and despite what happened. As he applied for UA, he managed to get in. He used the training he got to try and keep his emotions in check by using a sword to, tear the machines apart. After all the fighting, he found himself on the path to becoming a hero. And then, during a training incident, the rage, the monster inside of him, let loose and started scurrying about. And then after he woke up from that terrible incident, Kendo was there to comfort him and listen to his story. Now, trying to get back into this part, as after hearing the tale and every single event that happened, Kendo just started crying. Look, it's what I told you. What I said would happen. It's your own fault. I didn't want to tell you. She just hugs him and it's like, you had to go through so much. You had to do that all on your own. And nobody would believe you. You believe me? Of course I do. What else could I think after seeing that? That monster, that isn't a quirk. It doesn't have its own separate personality. Hell, the closest thing I've seen to that is Dark Shadow, and it doesn't even do that. That's something different. Something you can't control. The dark thoughts. You have to go through so much and not say a word, because no one could believe you. I know you might not accept it. I know you might not want it. But just please, allow me to help. Allow me to help you. I just can't bear seeing you live in pain. I look into your eyes and they're so hollow. The happiness and joy, they've been sucked away after having to deal with this thing for years. So please, just let me help you. Deku was a bit shocked as he was embraced by another person. And this was a genuine feeling. Something he had not felt in a long time. His mother always tried to give him attention and care, but it was different. She thought he was sick, thought he had something wrong with his head, and she never truly realized that who she was caring for was not her son in front of her, just a figment of her imagination. And this girl, Kendo, she, after hearing his story, she wept tears for him, even embraced him when nobody else would. That left a lasting impact on him. As he just says, Kendo, I'm not trying to be mean, but if you don't want to get hurt, please just let go. She says no. How am I supposed to let go after hearing that? In pain for so long. You haven't even had a genuine... I can see it. I can feel it. Nobody's ever shown you genuine emotion. And Deku was just shocked. I'm saying this for your own good, Kendo. If I get too emotional, if I get too happy, too sad, he comes out. Well, learn to control him. I've tried for years. You tried to restrain him, not work with him. How am I supposed to work with him? He's told me to jump off roofs, to take a knife to the throat. It never worked. I tried to get away from him, and he just keeps bringing me back and torturing me. I can't work with him. As she just looks him dead in the eye and just says, something is better than nothing. Please, just try. Even if it's just a little bit, try. Even if it's just talking with him, just try. What's the worst that can happen? You don't have anything to lose. You seem to have already lost everything. So, please, just try for yourself. Just please. She started crying more and more as he was just consoling her. Like, oh, I'll try. It won't work, but I'll try, okay? As she just starts wiping away her tears. There we go. That wasn't so hard now, was it? As, well, the next few days had rolled around and Kendo's hands were healing steadily as he started trying to interact more, as people started to try and ask him what went wrong, and some, who were very much cowards, didn't want to talk to him after seeing that violent display. However, Kendo managed to get some people to, change their ways of thinking. Uraka, Ida, and Kendo were his closest friends, as they were supportive. However, only Kendo knew his true story, the one he was willing to reveal. So, after about a week of trying to settle down and let things blow over, Aizawa says, alright guys, how should I explain this? I don't get paid enough for it. You guys are going on a field trip. As everybody starts perking up and they start cheering and hugging, it's like, finally, something normal. As he said, and everybody is hard saying, but this field trip will not be one of fun. This is a hero rescue course. So, I expect you not to be giddy with all your quirks and with your friends. This is a real situation heroes have to go through every single day, and don't treat it like a game. I've seen people die out there because they thought this was all fun and games. And, everybody just quieted down. Good. Now that you're all quieted down, we'll discuss the events that will be happening tomorrow. As he starts going over the OSJ and what its training purposes are. As the next day rolls around, everybody's getting ready as they meet up out front of the school. As Ida is directing everybody inside the buses. Well, Kendo sits next to to Midoriya. Says, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I am. I guess." "Well, that's good. It seems that those, well, you still got the bags there, but they seem to be lifting slowly." "Well, things have been good lately, I guess. I haven't heard his voice for a while. Not since the incident. It seems that when he comes out, he doesn't like to come back out for a little while after. But that's only my theory. Unless the situation calls for it. I think he just lays there waiting for the perfect opportunity to pull the rug out from under me. As he kind of just pokes me on the, flicks me on the forehead and says, what was that for? Come on, what have I told you about thinking negatively? Try and think more positive." "Yeah, I guess. I'll try, but I can't change myself overnight." "Of course not, silly. Change is a natural thing. Just let it come and go." As they finally arrive at the USJ after about 20 minutes, riding on the bus, everybody gets off and is in their hero costumes as well. As, well, they walk up to the entrance and see out front a very small astronaut-looking person. As she introduces herself and Uraraka is fangirling, she's going, "Oh my god, it's the Hero 13! She's like my idol! We both got space-related quirks. I love her." And she starts saying, "Hello there, students. My name's 13. I am, well, a rescue here. As some of you may know, my quirk is called Black Hole. It's a very dangerous quirk, as it has the resemblances of a black hole, being able to absorb even light itself. However, I choose to use my powerful and dangerous quirk for a rescue. So, this should all be a lesson to you. No matter how powerful your quirk is, it's also very dangerous. You should learn to control and understand your power and find out its purpose, weakness, and strengths. And as everything is going on, they finally start walking as she starts showing everybody around. As she points out to all the zones, then the lights flash off. As Deku's first reaction is to start unsheathing his sword. As Aizawa stops him, he's like, "Wait, see what's happened first before you draw it." Says, "Trust me, sir, this ain't good. It's not just a blackout. I can sense something. I can sense danger." "How can you know?" "After so many years of living the way I have, you can just tell." So you can, as Aizawa moves his hand from the hilt, as he draws his sword out. As he holds it down and starts facing it towards the middle ground, below the stairs. As a black portal appears, as Aizawa is shocked and says, "How do you know?" "Like I said, sir, I could just feel the danger. I could feel the hate and anger. It's kind of something you get used to after a while. Call it a sixth sense. You would know it without realizing, but you have it too. We can feel the hair on the back of our necks stand up when we're about to get attacked. It's a weird feeling. However, I just happen to have a keen sense about it." As all the villains start coming out of the portals, as there's about 200 or so. Some of them walk through portals after they just came out of them, and it starts thinning out to about 4 dozen in the central location. As Aizawa starts running down, well, Deku is just telling everybody to, be careful, stay on guard. You don't know what's going to happen. Aizawa starts running towards the villains and starts approaching them and starts fly kicking some of them in the head and staring some of them in his capture scarf. Then that one appears. The giant Nomu and a man with hands covering his face and the rest of his body. As Deku just stares right at the Nomu, seeing its dead eyes, and says, "That thing's not human. It's a monster." People just going, "What is that thing?" As 13's asking the kids to run, as Kurogiri teleports behind them. It says, "Oh, not so fast, my dear. You won't be getting away that easily. Unfortunately, this is where the hero's job fails." And it's like, "My job is to protect these kids, and I won't fail even if I have to give my life." And she starts trying to suck in Kurogiri. "Then give your life you shall." As he opens a portal right behind her back, using her own quirk against her. As everybody just starts screaming, Deku starts swinging his sword towards Kurogiri as he misses the first time. As he says, "Nice try, kid. However, I doubt you can touch me. I'm made of smoke. Try and find my body." As he closes his eyes and breathes in, he slices towards Kurogiri as he tries not to. Kurogiri doesn't dodge out of being cocky. However, he cuts off his armor, and with a piece of that, and a piece of skin on top of that, as blood is running down Deku's blade, and says, "I wouldn't be so sure of that." He's like, "You damn brat. Well, I'll have pleasure killing all of you." As he teleports them all away, and bursts them, as he leaves a very chilling message. "Let's see who lives and let's see who dies. Whoever lives shall be my toys. Whoever dies shall be something to toy with. Become the new generation." As Deku is engulfed in the purple mist. As when he comes to, he sees that he's on a ship with Mineta, Kendo, and Sue. Then he's like, we're on the shipwreck zone." As they look out towards the waters to see all the villains surrounding them. He says, "What are we gonna do?" And they were looking towards the ocean, so that a lot of these villains, he starts thinking, they don't know our powers. And some people would go, "Well, how do you know about that?" Well, Sue is obviously adept at water-based areas, so it's quite silly that they put her in a water zone. So that's quite true. So we're unknown to them. Exactly. I've got a plan, however, you'll need all of us to cooperate. As everybody's just like, "Alright, what is it?" So, Mineta, I want you to create as many balls as you can. Try and create it into like a long rope. Sure, but after about 100 of them, my head starts bleeding. We're gonna need a very long rope, so try and do as many as you can. Okay. Kendo, I want you to, make your hand large, and when I say so, strike the water. Okay. It might hurt, but just, stay with me for a bit. And Sue, I want you to, provide naval support. Go into the water, and any of the villains that seep through the cracks, I want you to take care of them. Right. What will you do, Midoriya? Well, I will take care of them myself. As he drops into the water, and however, something weird happens. He doesn't fall into the water, he stands above it. He's people just going, wait, how is he doing that? As his eyes are closed as he's focusing, as a weird aura starts appearing around him. Let's see if these villains have got what it takes. As some of them start, well, a few of them start jumping at him out of the water and try to attack him, slicing their sharp claws towards him, as he flicks it with his sword and cocks them in the back of their head using the dull edge of the blade against the back of their necks, knocking them unconscious. They start floating now. Just concentrate, focus on breathing. Use it to your advantage. Become one with the water. As without knowing it, he's trying to use the same power he used with that Bakugo does. He's trying to use that energy that seems to fuel his strength. Subconsciously, he manifests it through his calm breathing. He found it out while training his blade. He could make it sharper and more durable by channeling this energy through it. However, too much can disrupt the surroundings and cause things to crack. It's a very finicky move and requires a lot of concentration. And Netta says, "It's ready!" Says, "Alright, Netta, ring it around." As he throws the giant net basically of sticky balls. He says, "Kendo, jump and strike the water now." As she jumps down jumps down towards the water and strikes it as hard as she can with her big hands, causing a giant shockwave, sending some of the villains flying up and into the net as they start getting huddled together. As well, then some of them manage to avoid the impact wave by diving under it, and start heading towards Kendo as Sui out of nowhere kicks him in the sides, says, "I've got these guys. Now get onto the water." Uh, they, well, Midoriya just grabs Mineta and holds him over his shoulder and runs to the water as Kendo's swimming behind them. She's swimming much faster thanks to her big hands. The power behind them. And as they manage to get all on land, they're all just huddled up in big nests in the ground. So, they all manage to make it. Then, Deku sees Aizawa. He's having trouble. As they look towards the center of the arena almost, as villains are surrounding him from every angle, coming at him. However, his vast training from all his years as being a pro hero, they haven't managed to, get a hold of him just yet. However, he's hitting back into a corner and says, "You guys stay here. Find any others. I must help him." As Kendo just says, "No, it's too risky." "Oh, well, I gotta help him somehow." As he starts running towards, he runs towards Aizawa and gets up to his back. As they start facing off the villains back to back, Aizawa says, "Midoriya, why are you here? You should be helping the others. Don't worry about me." Says, "Sir, the others are fine. Well, hell, we might be beginners, but these guys are as well. We have more of a chance. We have more training. These guys are just petty thugs." As one well, one launched an attack at Deku, so he just cut it in half, and then, well, he used the back of his blade to knock him out. And some of us are very strong. Let us help you. As, well, he says, alright, but try to keep up with me. Yes, sir. Well, as we start fighting back to back, parrying the villains, knocking them out, cutting them down, they're being forced into a corner as, well, Kurogiri says, so it's that brat again. Oh, what is it, Kurogiri? Piqued your interest? Yes, he has. As he'll still, held a rag out and covered up his cut. Says, that one managed to cut me. Quite impressive. Oh. I'm looking at the way he fights. It's quite weird, especially for a hero. He has no emotion. I can see that his eyes are dead. I wonder if we can make him one of us. I know a lost child when I see one. As well, both the heroes was fighting off the villains as Kendo manages, Kendo jumps in as she joins. It's like, mind if I join you too? As Deku just says, Kendo, why are you here? I told you to go help the others. They managed to join up with Momo's team. They're fine for now. I thought you could use some extra backup. After all, I'm a martial artist, so I should be more help. Says, alright, but try not to get hurt, okay? Says, going from you, that's priceless. Look, there's a cut on your arm, you don't even see it. As he looks and says, you're right, but here's the thing, I don't fear death. As he starts swinging towards some of the other villains, knocking them out. It's like, well, neither do I, as Kendo cracks her knuckles and releases a sharp punch with her enlarged fist, sending a group of villains flying backwards. Then Shigaraki starts laughing. He's like, oh, I've got an idea. Let's see if we can play with him. As he says, Nomu, kill Eraserhead. And kill her. As Nomu starts coming alive with the orders. And starts heading towards Aizawa as it rushes directly in front of him. He says, what the? And cancels his quirk, but he still gets sent flying upwards. It's like, it's immense strength. What the hell? It's strong. Even without its quirk, I'm sure I erased him. As Deku just shouts out, Aizawa! He says, and he sees that the giant bird-like creature. So it's moving, eh? It's responding to his orders. As Deku just grabs out a small, sharp blade and launches it towards Shigaraki. As he gets teleported away by Kurogiri and right behind him. As he deflects it, saying, I can't do anything against that guy. That smoky guy is blocking him. Kendo, are you alright? I'm gonna try and help Aizawa. As Aizawa's getting, punched into the ground and by the Nomu as Deku tries to kick at it as the kick did nothing. As it turned around and smacked him away. Aizawa was getting punched into the ground. And then Kendo tried to launch an attack. As she managed to smack it back a bit. As it stares directly at her. As Deku just goes, no, Kendo, no! As the Nomu took a solid punch to her gut as she coughed up blood. As she was laying there, almost lifeless, she was coughing up blood and it wouldn't stop. And she collapsed, unresponsive, as he's just shouting, Kendo! Kendo! Kendo, talk to me! Come on! Stay with me! And she wasn't moving. As Shigaraki just starts laughing. Look at that. The hero is trying to help his friend. Oh, she's dead already. As he looks at the Nomu and Shigaraki with a death glare and it's like, I cannot have one thing. I cannot just have peace. I cannot have the things I care about. And Shigaraki starts goading him on. Yes, hero. You cannot have peace, quiet, and loved ones. We will take them away from you. And you will die. He just snapped and was like, well, if I can't have things I love, I'll just take you away. Drag you down to the pits of hell with me. As a dark aura starts seeping around Deku, as the sinister voice starts laughing. He's given in to despair. Just like he always should have. As an aura starts, appearing behind Deku, the same size as the Nomu. It's like, as he, is standing directly behind him, almost completely engulfing him. What are you, Deku? I'm weak. I'm useless. Yes, give in. What do you want? I want to kill them. I want to take away everything they love. Good. Then we shall kill them. For taking away everything you love. However, I will be in control. You are far too weak to do anything. Fine, you can have my body. Just make sure they die. As, his body, starts merging with the shadow as his eyes glow red. This is what it's like to have a body again. Oh, how I miss the day since I was alive. As he looks at the Nomu, as it tries to strike him, as he catches the Nomu's fist. I'm not impressed. As he crushes the Nomu's fist and twists and tears its fist off. And tosses it away. So you still bleed, do you? I'm going to enjoy this. As Shigaraki says, Nomu, what are you doing? Just kill him! Nomu starts, punching towards, Deku, as he just kept blocking his attacks with one hand. As the rage was still building inside of him. So you killed that little shit's girlfriend, eh? I'll show him how weak he is by killing you, so then he can only live in regret that he murdered me. As he put the sword in his back. I don't need this to kill you. I'm not gonna use his weak powers, his weak swordsmanship to try and kill you. No, I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands. As he, puts his hand into a flat like a blade, as he, reaches into the Nomu's chest, pulling its heart out, and crushing it. Let's see, do you die? Bleed. Bleed more for me. As the Nomu is just on the ground, and slowly recuperating, as he's like, yes, struggle. Keep denying that you're going to die. It brings me joy. As, the Nomu is getting back up. Says, enough of these games. I'll just kill all of you. I'll kill everybody here. just to prove how weak he was. As he grabs the Nomu by the throat, as he picks it up with one hand, and then uses his foot to stomp it to the ground, while still holding his neck, as he says, "Well, it seems that you have an impressive regeneration. However, it's not as good as mine." As he continues holding Nomu and monologuing to himself as it tries to grab his arm to, well, let him go. He says, "Ah, you don't seem to have a soul, but you seem to have the will to live. I know someone just like you. And he's a little shitbag I'm inhabiting." As he's like, "And this is what's gonna happen if he didn't defy me." As a tearing and cracking sound started happening. As so the villains are just very intimidated by the cracking sound. He's thinking he's breaking his neck. And one of them says, like, "Oh no, I'm not breaking his neck. I'm doing something much worse." As he pulls his arm up all of a sudden, as the Nomu's head comes clean off with its spine. As he digs it in, well, he sticks it into the ground like it was a trophy, like a head on a pike. Unnerving the villain, staring Shigaraki down with his glowing red eyes. "You're next." As he just says, "Kurogiri, get rid of him!" Well, he flashes and all of a sudden, well, he blinks and Deku's right in front of him, grabbing him by the face. As he says, You made the wrong choice, kid. You let me touch you." As Shigaraki grabs him by the arm, as it starts, well, disintegrating, as he starts laughing. The Deku just grabs him by the other one. As, well, and just rips off one of his arms. It says, "Ooh, that's a pretty nice power you got. However, let me just tell you, I don't die that easily." As his arm fully regenerates. As Shigaraki's like, "What the hell?" As he starts picking him by the throat and starts choking him out. He keeps trying to use his quirk. His arms is starting to dissolve, and he's waiting for him to drop down after, well, separates. But Deku's focusing his, well, Barker is focusing the power into his arm, regenerating faster than it can be decayed. He says, "It's useless. Useless, useless, useless. You cling on to life, but you say you will kill somebody. But you cling on to life fearing death. You are nothing." As when he picks up, he raises him above the ground as he starts being choked out. As Kurogiri, the only way he could save him is by opening a portal right in front of Shigaraki. And Deku's arm is falls to the ground as, well, Shigaraki just falls to the ground, vomiting and breathing heavily. "Kurogiri, get me out of here!" As a portal appears below Shigaraki as he falls through it, as well as Kurogiri. And he's like, "So they ran away. What a bunch of piss ants. Well, time to kill the rest of them." As his arm regenerates again. Says, "Why is he so weak? Something like that could never kill me. And yet it cut through his arm. Stupid weak old Deku." Then Bucker started walking towards the villains, laughing. It's your turn to die next." As they start running away from him, as he teleports in front of them, kicking well, kicking them in the gut, sending them flying, bones cracking on impact, as they start coughing up violently. Says, I think I cracked some of your ribs. Isn't it fun to hear them break, one by one? As one of the villains was pleading for his life, he's like, please, just have mercy on me. Mercy? That's something only cowards ask for. He starts, putting pressure on his chest as his ribs start cracking. As he starts screaming out in pain. He says, yes, scream for me more. Then, something grabbed him by the waist, pulling him. As he looks down and sees that it's Kendo. She got him and says, please stop. Izuku, please, come back to your senses. Come back to yourself. As he grabs Kendo by the hair as he pulls her up and says, I'm sorry, but that little pissant ant isn't here. So unfortunately, that won't work. As she slaps him in the face, it's like, don't you call him a pissant. He's not weak either. You're just a monster. A monster, you say? Well, people call me many things. But there's one thing I can call you. A bitch who can't learn her place. He throws it to the ground and, fast parrying a claw of darkness that wraps around his hand, says, well, time to take away the last bit of hope he has. As he is about to strike her down in the chest, Aizawa is restraining him as much as he can with his capture scarf. He says, everybody just wants to get in my way. Huh? As he tugs his arm forward, Aizawa is sent flying as he punches him in the face, sending him rolling back. Now, let's see. Where were we? As Kendo starts crying, please, Izuku, I know you're in there. Please, come back to me. Come back to us. As Bakugo jumps his arm down, and right as about an inch from her chest, he stops as his arm starts shaking. As he grabs his face with one hand, says, No, you can't control me. I won't let you. As he starts screaming out in pain, as it sounds like two voices are battling each other. As those two voices like, you'll not win, Deku. Get out of my head. Get back inside and never return. As he starts screaming out in pain. As he seems to rip the darkness from his body. As he starts bleeding heavily. As he looks down at Kendo. As she starts getting back up. And says, Izuku, is that you? Yeah, it's me. As he clamps into her arms. As at the same time, the rest of the heroes started busting through the doors. And, they start immediately rescuing all the students, grabbing the detained villains, incarcerating them, and defeating the rest of them that were still lurking around, while also tending to the wounded. Izuku didn't have any, visible wounds on him. Aizawa was very beat up, and so was Kendo. However, Kendo was more concerned about Izuku. It says, Recovery Girl is trying to plead with her. Please, just let me heal you. Look, he looks fine. She says, oh no. He needs help. And she collapses from exhaustion after trying to plead well, with the recovery girl. Says, my, she's a stubborn one. She starts healing her as, well, the injuries on her body start closing up, as well as her internal organs been healing up. Then Deku wakes up in the infirmary. Well, in the hospital, I should be more exact. As he's like, where am I? Where is everybody? Where's Kendo? As somebody who's, well, somebody who's happened to be right next to him is like, I'm right next to you. I'm right next to you. Just open this, barrier. As he, moves the blinds, as he sees, Kendo is in the bed next to him. Says, you're okay. Well, a bit worse for wear, but yeah. As Izuku's getting out of bed and is like, you shouldn't get out. I'm out of bed. I'm fine. Trust me, I heal a bit too quickly. Remember what I said? Yeah, that's true. As he pulls up a seat and says, are you okay? I'm sorry I lost control. Again. Wasn't for you, I would have continued on. It's fine. You only went that way because you saw I was hurt, and it was fine. I thought it was kind of sweet, actually. As Deku just says, I just couldn't bear seeing other people I know and people that actually treat me with kindness just get hurt like that. It hurt to even think about losing a friend like you, losing someone like you. As he just started crying while laying over over her bed, as she started, ruffling his hair and says, it's fine. I'm alive. It's not fine. I should have been in more control. I should have never let this happen. Should never let you've gotten hurt. I told you to stay away and I couldn't keep you from getting hurt. As she, tells him to raise his head as she pulls him forward in for a hug. Says, I'm fine. Please, just rest. Stop crying. Stop before I start crying. As he just closes his eyes and doesn't even fight it, he just embraces it and even hugs her back. Says, I'm sorry. As, Aizawa just says, can two of you please keep it down? As they back away from each other and Kendo was embarrassed. As it says, you came out of a laugh or death situation and you're already getting huggy. My, what are the generations come to nowadays? Says, I'm good to see that you're alive, sir. Yeah, barely. God. Everything hurts. I can't even see you right now. All I can hear is you two mumbling to each other. He opens the curtain and sees Aizawa in fully bandaged up and arms and legs in casts. Says, they did a number on you, didn't they? Yeah, but I must say thanks. If it wasn't for you, I'd be dead. Yeah, well, if it wasn't for you stopping me, I would have hurt Kendo. It says, don't worry about it. That's what heroes do. It says, I know, but This shouldn't have happened. Yeah, the more you think about it, the more sad it gets. Just try and lament on the fact that you're alive and live. Don't lament on the past. As he says, right. And this is where I'm going to leave off part 2 to what if Deku was Yuta Okkotsu. Now I just want to change it up for a little bit. Instead of just making a 3-part movie because, well, that would be a bit hard trying to focus all of the story and what I wanted to do and build up a thing with with all the characters. I can't do that in 3 parts. Even if I made them like 2 hours long, I probably couldn't get that done. Hell, series that have like 5 parts are barely just getting past some of these parts. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm mumbling at this point, and yeah. I just want to say thank you all for watching the video, and I hope you continue liking this series. And yeah, have a good day, people. And I've been the King of Underworld. Have a good one.